Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Deja and I run Starstruck Pups where I draw a lot of different dogs, pet portraits, and all that fun stuff. Today we are going to be working on the first page of my 2024 sketchbook, which I'm so excited for since I just finished the cover yesterday. And in normal Deja fashion, whenever I start something, I immediately feel the need to keep going into it and to immediately hyperfixate. So let's see what we can create today on the first page to get us started. My main goal with the first page of my sketchbook was to start with the most imperfect first page so that when I went forward in my sketchbook, the expectation would be not that my work was perfect like I usually expect, but that it was meaningful to me. So I started with some not so pretty stars, and then moving forward started thinking about the types of inspiration I wanted and needed to have what I would consider a successful 2024 sketchbook.
A few moments later.
We're back, but this time with goals to actually help me stay committed, creative, and on track with my intentions for this sketchbook, as well as some mediums, subjects, and colors that really inspire me and remind me of who I am as an artist today in 2024. This way I can see how I grow as an artist and how my art style itself evolves over the years. My first sketch in my book is actually going to be my submission for the Cute and Cupid Art Challenge, where the goal for the week of February 1st through 6th is to draw something fruity and flirty. So naturally, I'll be drawing a dog. I've had this reference photo of a Corgi that I've had saved in my Pinterest for some time now, and just to make it a little bit more fruity, I'm gonna go ahead and add someone giving the Corgi a piece of watermelon to lick at the end. I know that watermelon's not necessarily in season, but I'm just trying to manifest some summer vibes for me and this little Corg, and at the end of the day, I just thought it fit the piece really well. So using my orange pencil, I'm going to go ahead and lightly draw in the shapes that I see from my reference photo, just roughly drawing in some circles to break down the chub of his arms and body and trying to shape out what I'm actually looking at. Now that I'm done with some of the more basic shapes, I'm gonna go ahead and start to work on the features of the Corgi, working on the mouth, on the watermelon, and just tightening up all that would make this Michelin man of a blob into an actual Corgi with a watermelon. As you see me working on the mouth of the Corgi, you'll notice that there's almost like, I don't want to call it hesitation, but there's a lot of waiting before I actually put the pencil down onto the page. And that's because of how often I'm going back to check my reference photo to make sure that where I'm placing down these features actually match up with what the image is showing me. While I do know that I have a lot of creative license to play with here, I want to still make sure that the features of the Corgi match up to the reality of what a Corgi might actually look like. Next, I'm gonna start working on my favorite part of the Corgi, which are their humongous ears. In this household, my husband and I are obsessed with big-eared dogs. Like I showed you in my previous videos, both my dog Amelia and my dog Sage have absolutely humongous ears that can fly them off to their wildest dreams. And you guessed it, makes them the nosiest dogs on my block because, I mean, what can't they hear? At this point of the sketch, I'm going to go ahead and start putting down some harder lines so that I can actually see what the final product is going to be looking like. Starting with the paws, I'm just being mindful to continue to look at my reference photo because sometimes my imagination gets the better of me, but also not trying to be too rigid with my reference and using my artistic license, so adding fur and other folds wherever I see fit, but making sure to keep it a little bit more realistic for what I'm drawing here. While Corgis are furry little floofs, it's important to make sure it really doesn't get out of hand, because it does quickly. Thickening up the lines on these cheeks and just making them look that much chubbier and rounder brings me so much joy. I don't even think I could explain it to you, but I'll try. Like, have you ever found a surprise onion ring in your order of fries? That very specific joy in the moment of like, oh my God, my day has been absolutely blessed and no harm can befall me. That that's the feeling that I'm feeling right now. I feel super, super blessed to be able to even create this chipmunk corgi combo that will not only bring a light to my life, but to my sketchbook. Now, y'all, I'm gonna try my hand at making an actual human hand holding this watermelon. And I would like to start by saying, do not come for me. I specifically do dog portraits and work on dog artwork to avoid human anatomy at all costs. Can I do it? Can I get away with it? Yes, maybe. Yes. Okay, yes, I can, but it's not my favorite and it really is just subpar at best. So to have to do this honestly brings me so much dread to the process, but I am committed to getting it done and making sure that there is a kind hand feeding my corgi pup because that's all he deserves. So like again, don't come for me, don't judge me. I will work on it over time and definitely get better at making hands. But until then, my paws are looking slamming, okay? So let's focus on the success here because the successes are astronomical, riveting, amazing. So proud of myself. And one day I'll be able to say that I'm so proud of myself for my hands. But today is not that day. Ugh, okay, so the hands are over at last, and I can move on to actually starting some of the shading process. I'm gonna try to be using three different colors with my shading. So the orange that I did the original sketch with, a dark and light version of violet, and then my mulberry, which is my favorite Prismacolor pencil ever, basically. Well, okay, right now it's my favorite Prismacolor pencil. Who knows where I'll be in the future, but anyways, I'll be using these colors to show the highlights and shadows in my drawing, as well as to bring an additional little bit of life with that mulberry color. I kind of felt like between the darker violet and the orange, it wasn't necessarily giving as vibrant of a look as I was going for, so I was hoping that the use of the mulberry would kind of change things up, which you'll see in just a minute. After getting down some of the darker shadows, I can start to work on coloring in the watermelon seeds. And from there, I start using my light violet color in order to actually put down some of that base brown color that's at the top of his head in my reference photo in comparison to the white that's on the majority of his body. Okay, pause for a second. Can you guys even believe that she really tried to eat my favorite color pencil? But like, come on, who can stay mad at this face? She's simply too stinking cute. Anyways, you'll see that my mulberry pencil is now working for her life right now, desperately trying not to have the tip of the lead break off and allow for that tragedy to spread further. I did admittedly decide to be super stubborn about this throughout the entirety of the sketch and tried not to quote unquote waste the lead despite it wiggling and jiggling, just begging for release. But going forward, I should definitely be nicer to myself and my art and treat it with the respect of a sharpened pencil. But, I just couldn't let the Godzilla of my home win this time. Right now, you'll see me start the outline between this red color pencil I have and the violet Prismacolor pencil that I've been using previously throughout the sketch. Honestly, I was trying a new technique and seeing if I liked it or not. At the time, I wasn't really in love with my color choice though, so I ended up making the decision later on to cover it with a black outline, which you'll see in just a little bit. But now that I've had more time away from it, I actually really like the colors that I have right now more than I like the black outline that I actually went with. Would I still choose the red? No, not at all. I would definitely switch that color. Maybe to like another variation of purple or a different pink or something, but it just really wasn't as bad as I was imagining it at the time, and I've definitely learned my lesson to just sit with my art for a little bit and not judge it off of the bat, because who knows, maybe after some time with it, away from it, I'll actually start to love what I created a little bit more. Or hopefully at the very least, not cover it up with black and come up with a little bit more of a creative of a solution. At this point, I wanted to erase some of the color that I had on my sheet just because I felt like the black had really made the image really dark, which wasn't what I was hoping for. And yes, I know I need a new kneadable eraser, but this pink eraser until then is my trusty sidekick, and I thank her for her services. Right now, I'm just gonna go back in with the black marker and retrace some of the lines that kind of rubbed off with the eraser. Off screen, I did add some more mulberry and other colors just to bring back some pigment after erasing, and now I'm going to be adding some different stars and twinkles. Again, nothing too perfect here. I just felt like I would have kept working to the point of anxiety trying to make these little stars and circles and twinkles just as perfect as I'd want them to be. So for now, my perfect is going to be just accepting whatever it is my hand creates. So right now, the goal is to actually work the shapes around the entire top half of her head, almost like a crescent shape that's supposed to really give the look of a halo of all these little fun shapes around her. And yes, I have decided that this is a her and her name is Honeysuckle, but you can call her Honey for short. She also happens to love long walks on the beach and stealing candy from babies. Moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and accentuate this nice little halo around her by using my pink Tombow marker. I've been really loving this calligraphy marker lately, though to be completely honest, at this point in my sketch, I was a little bit more lackadaisical with the way I was coloring in. So you'll start to notice that the stars and hearts that I'm hoping to keep white might actually have a little bit of pink inside of them. But I'm genuinely not mad at that. Again, I'm trying to also work on my perfectionism problems here, so just practicing having a more meaningful and fun experience rather than analyzing things to the point of not even enjoying my art process anymore. So enjoy some coloring time with me and get ready for it to get a little sloppy. But you know what? Like, sloppy? Yeah, no, it's sloppy. But let me defend myself just a little bit here, because even though it might be considered sloppy, doesn't mean that it's not cute or it's not still a work of art. As I mentioned, I think either earlier in this video or in my last video, when I was a kid, I used to like to do something called messy art, where I would just draw in a bunch of scribbles and then find a piece of art in those scribbles. So whenever I'm coloring or drawing in a way that I would consider a little bit more sloppy, I tried to bring it back to when I was a kid and just being proud of my new version of messy art, because I know that she would definitely be proud of where my art journey has taken me. Woohoo! I am all done, and now all I want to do is just add the name of the challenge for this week so that I remember exactly what I was going for with this sketch. So I'm just going to be writing down fruity and flirty, which was the prompt. I know that my lettering could use a little bit more practice, but again, I'm not mad at it. I'm actually really proud of myself for just continuing to move forward, because I know I was so pissed at myself when I first messed it up, but the goal isn't even for this to stay purple, so I figured it wouldn't be too big of a deal. Anyways, I really wanted to go through my black outlining so that it looked more uniform, but more importantly, I wanted to take the opportunity to actually use this multicolored rainbow pencil that I found hidden in my drawers. I was so psyched when I saw it because it immediately brought me back to my middle school days, but I was also a little bit concerned because I wasn't necessarily sure how I wanted to use it. So I just decided to occasionally lift my pencil and let it twist and fall onto whatever color it would onto the page and just go forward with that. As I continue to use this pencil, I hope to find some techniques that I really like, but until then, I'm happy to just experiment and go back to my middle school roots. And that's a wrap. This is my submission for the Cute and Cupid art competition for the flirty and fruity prompt. I'm so excited to be able to share the next prompt with you guys, sugar and self-care. So comment below what you think and subscribe for more content. Bye.